Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Xenonauts. Let me go ahead and get my timer started. And let's go ahead and go back to the geoscape, as it's called. And see if we can find some more UFOs to shoot down. Obviously there are some hanging out around South America along sort of the northern coastline. But we don't have radar coverage. And none of our stuff has none of our aircraft have the range to get over there to actually engage a UFO. Charlie 1, our Chinook, should be capable of getting over there to assault a landed UFO, but that's not what we got. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. So, Kaysen, I'm really not sure how to pronounce this one. Kaysen non-combatant analysis. From the earliest recording of a crash landing in Puglia, Italy in 1910 to famous incidents such as the Gateshead Gray abductions, humanity has had an endless fascination with little green men from Mars. Little green man from Mars. That clearly should be men, not man in this case, but whatever. Now they're here with sinister intent. I prepared a summary of what we know for your distribution, as our brave boys have slept through every briefing I have given. Perhaps you could invite them to a story at bedtime. It's unsurprising our soldiers have torn through casings like a shark in a swimming pool. Several subjects we have brought in for study are ill-prepared for a fight. Casings in red jumpsuits seem to fill non-combatant roles, such as technician or navigator. Given their unique genetic structure, they may be manufactured on a production line basis, then programmed to meet specific manpower needs. Like our own pilots and engineers, they are only lightly armed and perform poorly in groundside combat. Their jumpsuits are resistant to impacts, but while it can absorb a 9mm bullet, it is considerably less effective against a hail of rifle rounds. I would expect to find non-combatants on every UFO you bring down, but never in any dedicated combat operation. So they're gray-skinned aliens, they have big heads, large black eyes, and thin profile. False identification can lead to civilian casualties, observe movements, or get closer before opening fire. Remember that humans can wear dark glasses and red t-shirts. That's clearly meant for our guys, because I guess, lore-wise, some of our guys might have screwed up and accidentally shot some civilians at one point. Unusual sensory acuity. Combatants demonstrate powerful intuition and splendid battlefield awareness, very difficult to sneak up on or lay ambushes. They are suspected in possession of extrasensory abilities. Weak body, frail skeletal structure, and thin musculature suggest a physiological preference for long-range combat. And padded uniform. Uniform is fashioned from a weave, which use alien materials, limited fire, chemical, and kinetic resistance. Red jumpsuits are often equipped with tools and most probably not trained in combat, but still pose a threat due to a high intellect, battlefield awareness, and sensibility. Expect resistance. Oh, did we not get anything yet for the, Oh, we haven't, really? Okay, I guess we haven't researched the, database thing yet. For those UFOs. Because I'm pretty sure it shows up in the Xenopedia. Okay, well here's an autopsy now for them. A Kaysen is a humanoid alien that stands approximately 170 centimeters, 5 feet 7 inches tall. I imagine you share our surprise that they resemble humanity so closely. Statistically, we believe the likelihood of this occurring by chance is effectively 0. Kaysens are physically weaker and less hardy than humans, with bone fractures occurring at only 60% of the force required to fracture human bone. Both are likely to be the result of prolonged exposure to a low-gravity environment. Their physiology is intriguingly similar to our own, with most internal organs present in a recognizable form and a remarkably similar skeletal structure. A couple of exceptions are worth noting. A substantially enlarged cranium contains a corresponding increase in brain tissue, and vocal cords are atrophied to the point where verbal communication would be impossible. The latter suggests the creatures have transcended words. Perhaps they have a telepathic link with one another. The body shows extensive signs of genetic modification at the cellular level. Casein tissue possesses only a single sex chromosome, and more importantly, samples taken from multiple enemy combatants shows they are genetically identical. That is, they are all clones. Genitalia are present but heavily atrophied. Asexual reproduction is obviously at work, but almost certainly facilitated by some form of technology. A metal valve on the upper spine is linked to the creature's circulatory system, which may indicate an artificial method of blood filtration that replaces excretion. An undersized liver and kidneys suggests it is certainly possible. Indeed, if administered regularly, this blood filtration could also remove the need for consumption and digestion of foodstuffs entirely. Nutrients could be fed directly into the blood serum. Has extraterrestrial technology surpassed their biology? Frankly, this corpse poses more questions than it answers. Intriguing. There we go. Light Scout UFO. My team has finished preliminary studies on the recovered UFO hull. We have designated the Light Scout. It is very small compared to some of the orbital signals we have detected, barely more than a probe. It is approximately a dozen meters from nose to tail, comprising a saucer section and 2 wings filled with what we believe to be sensor equipment. 2 small thrusters mounted on the back of the saucer provide propulsion. The craft does not appear to have a reactor of any kind, instead seeming to drain power from rechargeable capacitors in the wings. It's almost certainly not capable of independent operation. Instead, it would need to be launched from a home vessel at the start of each mission and return there afterwards. It has poor combat performance for such an advanced vessel. It is no match for one of our Condor interceptors. The main weapon is an energy cannon mounted beneath the saucer, which has a relatively slow fire speed and a shorter range than our Sidewinder missiles. The armored shell is remarkably strong and impressively heat-resistant, given it is only a few millimeters thick, but is too thin to offer much protection against modern munitions. Enjoy the gentle introduction while it lasts, Commander. I doubt the larger ships will be such easy prey. You're probably right, and that's why we're looking to get a better interceptor soonish. But first things first, the Hunter armored car. The Hunter Scout car is a small armored vehicle that is used for scouting and fire support during our combat missions. It fills the space of 2 soldiers in the dropship, but is tougher, can move faster, and has a longer sight range than a soldier. The Hunter is derived from the Damlier Ferret armored car, a vehicle small and light enough to be carried inside one of our Charlie dropships, though there is only space for 1 vehicle in a strike team. The Scout car designation is instructive. The Hunter is not a battle tank. Any vehicle light enough to be carried inside a helicopter will have relatively flimsy armor, and the Hunter is no exception to this. Nevertheless, it is far quicker to replace a few damaged plates after a mission than it is to nurse a wounded soldier back to health, making this vehicle an extremely effective way to scout the battlefield in the hands of a careful commander. The Hunter is equipped with dual 30 caliber machine guns, which are powerful but inaccurate. They are better suited for suppressing our foes and slaying them, making the Hunter a useful infantry support vehicle. If you would like to upgrade its firepower, our engineers believe they could refit the turret with powerful explosive rockets instead. However, these are hardly likely to leave much behind for my team to study. The Hunter is available for construction in our workshop. Remind the Louts to follow my blueprints to the letter. They'd be better in the laboratories if they actually knew anything about the design process. And then the Viper turret. So it's an alternate turret option, basically just replaces the dual 30 cal machine guns with 8 high explosive rockets. Presumably that's not literally 8, it's presumably, I think it's just a dual mount, and then probably has 6 more stored inside, and somebody has to basically pop out to reload them, I'd assume. We will not be using those. There is no reason to, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and get one of these out, and also use this opportunity to go ahead and hire some more engineers, because, well, now we need them. And okay. For some reason I thought maybe I forgot to tell those guys to switch to the interceptor, but no, I remembered. Scouting mission. Hello, Commander. As requested, we at strategic planning have started to analyze ET UFO activity and determine their military objectives, meaning no disrespect to R&D, but interpreting ET strategy is best suited to the men who do it for a living. I'll be keeping you updated on whatever we can discover about extraterrestrial UFO activity, like now, for instance. Earlier today, there was a confirmed sighting of a UFO light scout class circling low over a classified research station in America. It didn't take any visible action, but local radio operators detected unusual bursts of energy in the VHF band, and the researchers detected simultaneous bursts in the SHF band. I've cross-linked this with similar reports in Germany, Australia, and Hong Kong. Considering the strategic importance of the locations involved in the analysis of light scouts from R&D, I'm certain these scouts were gathering and transmitting intelligence on potential future targets. UFOs on scouting missions remain in the air for an extended period of time, gathering intel on potential targets. There doesn't seem to be any particular plan to what they cover, so it should be fairly easy to intercept one. As the ETs have dedicated ships for scouting, we can expect scouting missions to be carried out by small signals. The more intel a scout can gather, the more damaging later attacks will be, so try and get as many scouts taken down as you can. Even if we can't recover the crash site, we can at least make sure the ETs are fighting in the dark. I don't actually know if scouts escaping and being able to basically relay back information actually does anything for the game. Like, if it actually makes the game harder or not. Obviously, the Xenopedia here would try to make you think it does. Again, I don't know if it actually does. Okay, our guys managed to shoot down a UFO, so we're going to go ahead and send Charlie 1 out to go and take care of that. We're not going to wait for the Hunter Scout car, because that still has 3 days to go until it's done. When are you done? 3 more days for you as well. Wonderful. Now, by the time we get there, it should be day. And let's go ahead and engage. Okay. You guys with the shields are gonna pop out the sides. Is this the... okay, yes, this is the very edge of the map. Or, well, not the very edge, but this is a corner of the map, rather. So we can... kinda... okay, well, there's the UFO, and that's what I care about. I'm not going to go ahead and try and explore the rest of the map for it. Because this is the bit that's important at the end of the day. Oh. Okay, well, so we've been introduced to the new... well, not new, but we've been introduced to a new species. So we're not going to be dealing with the Caissons this time. These guys are called the Sibyllans or something like that. I know it starts with an S. They're sort of supposed to be like the Mutons in a sense. God, we don't have... I don't want to be on that corner because you're not covered at all. So let's see what we can do to get some degree of coverage. You have a shotgun, so you're not particularly useful. I guess have you try to run out here. Take cover there. Most of our guys don't have enough time units to be able to do any sort of overwatch. Just Luca and Igor here. Jules actually does as well if he comes around the corner. But I don't think he will, and also Jules here may or may not react. You got a reflexes of 69, I was about to say 69, of 66. And so you might, but you also might not. Okay, he did not come around the corner. Realistically, I think you should be able to shoot through there. But this one grid that's highlighted in red there is considered to be blocking your vision. Even though I don't think it should be. So I can't do anything about that. I'm going to assume you're going to head back into the UFO. So I'm just going to... where's a good spot for you to take cover? Is that a rock there on the other side of that tree? I can't quite tell. I mean, it's showing that you have cover directly in front of you, but I think it's a rock. I think you'll be safe here-ish. Yeah, I think there's enough stuff blocking the door there, so if they open that door and try and shoot you, they'll have a bit of a hard time. Oh, here we go. You actually have an 85% chance to hit it, Igor. Take it. Wonderful. Take a second shot, and that one got eaten by the tree. Okay. What do I want to do with you? Move up just a little bit. I don't want you to be out in the open. Jules here should be safe from the alien there. Unless he runs out into the open, in which case somebody will hopefully have shots. There we go. Now, is he the only one, or are there more? Well, obviously, since the game didn't end immediately, he is not the only one. It should be noted, I think I might have mentioned it last part, but if I didn't, I will mention it now. There is a, if I recall correctly, I believe it's a 50% chance, or no. No. There is a chance. I don't recall what it is off the top of my head, actually. But there is a chance that a alien will die when they crash. I believe it is set up so that when one dies, the chance of another one being killed upon landing decreases. But theoretically, it's possible to actually end up with a UFO where there's only a single alien left alive. That's obviously not going to be common, but it's a possibility. Oh, here we go. We see another one. Don't have good eyes on him, though, and you are all out of movement points. Jules is going to fall back just a little, because depending on where he goes, I don't want him to have a clean shot. So at least here, there's only one spot that he can move to, and he'll have a clean shot on you. God, your accuracy sucks, buddy. Who was that shot? Luca. Or Lucia, rather. You actually have 69 accuracy, so your accuracy is not crap. You just got really unlucky, and I'm going to assume it's because of these trees in the way. I'm going to assume these 3 trees that I'm sort of circling are the ones that obstructed your vision. So we saw where that guy went. Thing is, we know what happened to Tabor last time when we tried to hunt down an alien outside. So rather than doing that, we're going to take cover, and we're going to hope he comes around the corner. And Julia here we'll hopefully blast them with a shotgun. And Igor will look in that direction as well, and hopefully he'll reaction fire onto him. He does. And the old 1-2 punch. Or, well, a version of it. Wonderful, we got a hit. And there's 2 there. Okay. I want you to move up. Actually, no, you probably shouldn't be the one to move up. I want somebody to move to a spot where they won't be immediately shot at, but where they can... Damn it. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, looks like we gotta watch out for over here because there seem to be some aliens. Quite a few, actually. We've killed 2. There's 2 at the door there. There's 1 outside, so there's 5. I think 5 is the maximum for a light scout. So we got really freaking unlucky, and we just killed none of them. Or rather, none of them died on the crash. And he went inside from an opening there on the side. Okay, Julia, I'm pretty sure that's all of them, so I'm not going to have you clear out the rest of the map, because I just don't think there's a reason to. I mean, it'd be one thing if I thought there were more. Do you have eyes on there? No, you can't. That damn grouping of trees actually blocks you completely. So you'll only be able to do a snapshot, but that's okay. We're gonna sort of slowly try and walk some of our guys up. Is there a spot that you can go to? You might be able to see from here. You can, but those trees do block you, so you don't have any particularly good chances to hit. Wonderful, we took down 1 with the reaction fire from him opening the door. And that's how we're going to basically play this. You need to play very cautiously, especially early on, if you want to minimize losses so you can actually train your guys. So, yeah. We're gonna take this kind of slow. Okay, we know there's 1 more in there. And we're basically going to just keep this up. They seem to have no problems with running up to the door. So if they want to do that, be my guest. It makes my life easier. Do I want to send you to go and stand next to Luca? Yeah. Igor doesn't seem to be really shooting much from his old position. Here, he should be able to shoot. I think the reason why he wasn't shooting was just because one of these tiles was technically considered a 0% chance to hit. Oh, you're not going to? Are you really not going to open the door? Wait 1 more turn. He's not going to open the door. Okay, he's going to make me come in for him. I really wanted to avoid this. Because obviously assaulting is significantly more dangerous than just killing them as they open the door. I want the shotgun, guys. So let's get Jules over here. Now, I believe after a certain number of... well, I say I believe. I know that after a certain number of turns, I just don't know if it applies to every match or if it's only terror sites. But I know that eventually after a certain number of turns, when there's only one alien left, it does actually just... I guess we get a satellite or something over here with thermal imaging, and it's able to tell us exactly where the last alien is hiding out. I don't know how many turns that actually takes. Okay, Jules, you have one job. If that alien decides to open that door, you shoot over Irina's head and blast it. Okay, I know you're in there, dude. Ah, shit. Can't go in there. Because Irina doesn't have the action points to have been able to open the door, toss the grenade, and move out of the way. So that Jules could go in there and shoot the alien who was now suppressed and would not be able to reaction fire us. So, not quite as cleanly as I would have liked, but it'll do. Civilian, okay, that's what they're called. Excellent across the board. Nobody technically died, but was able to be revived. And Igor and Luca got promoted to sergeant. And then everybody gained some stat or another. Okay, the high-speed interceptor is almost ready to go. Or is almost researched, rather. There we go. Okay, you. Radar arrays. So one of the questions to be asked is, do I want to have a second team based out of our Central America, Cuba base? Or do I want to have all of our teams based out of the home base? That way we can minimize needing to ship materials around. And I think the reality is I'm probably going to have a second team based here, but our third base, when we get around to building it, will probably not have a team deployed at it. So we're going to do... living quarters there. Oh, I don't have enough funds to build a radar array. Whoops, okay. Yes, demolish that. Build me one radar array. Apparently we're broke as shit. And the month is barely through. Civilian non-combatant. Commander, a xenosociologist, has been compiling information on the civilian race. Most of it, while interesting, is irrelevant for field operations. I have taken the time to compose a summary of the most useful information for the men. I'm sure you've heard the self-congratulation and backslapping going on in the locker room over the success of the last mission. I hate to turn those smiles into frowns, actually I don't, but many of those hard targets were amusingly enough not intended for ground operations. From our data, we have strong reason to believe that a sizable number of subjects recovered are non-combatants. They form the operational core of any UFO crew, acting as pilots, engineers, navigators, and other essential non-combat roles. They neither need nor are given more than basic training in combat, are armed with pistols, and only have their naked, if resilient, skin as protection. Incidentally, I have had to chastise some lab assistants for skinning civilians and selling their hides to your men. Did you know that Corporal England is an amateur leather worker? I should check their uniform. I should check their uniforms if I were you. Our xenosociologists theorize they are either a slave caste bred in their millions to serve the needs of the higher echelons, or younglings who have yet to find their positions within the larger social group, and are assigned to duties suitable for young aspirants who cannot yet be trusted with a gun. In either case, they will likely stick close to grounded UFOs, and it is extremely unlikely that the men will see them in any dedicated alien combat operation. Wonderful, the engineers arrived. And autopsy. A civilian is a reptilian alien, standing roughly 195 centimeters, 6 feet 5 inches, tall and weighing nearly 200 kilograms. The incredibly dense skeleton of the creature and its tough scaled hide together account for some 40% of this, the remainder being largely muscle and teeth. Whatever environment the civilians evolved in must have been a hostile one. Their physiology is hardly to the point where I struggle to think of a creature capable of killing one. With up to an inch of scaled hide in places, these creatures have some inherent protection against ballistic weapons. Beneath the scales is a thick layer of dense muscle, and the creature's heavy skeleton both also heavily resistant to damage. Once we had abandoned our bone saws for an angle grinder, we retrieved the creature's internal organs. These were much to be expected, the only major anomaly being the presence of 2 hearts inside the torso. Presumably one alone could not pump sufficient blood around the beast's body to sustain it. Analysis of civilian blood also has some interesting results. Almost 10% of blood volume is comprised of a mixture of powerful coagulants and unspecialized stem cells. We do not yet fully understand the implications of this, but it is quite possible that live civilians are able to rapidly clot wounds and possibly even regenerate damage sustained in combat. Some consolation, despite the above, civilians are not perfect soldiers, much like the brutes down in our engineering department. Their physique belies an undersized brain. A civilian probably has as much understanding of squad tactics as does the finer points of Shakespeare. They also have weak thermal eyesight, giving them slower reflexes and poor accuracy, although smoke will not hinder their accuracy like it does other aliens. They will also prefer to fight at shorter ranges where these characteristics are less of a hindrance, so it would be wise to ensure the opposite occurs. Yes, I know, game. We're having financial difficulties. I know this. Thank you. I needed a new UFO to shoot down, like desperately. And that's a fighter. Tail it till overland. Then shoot it down. And if you guys have the fuel, see if you can grab that guy. Let's also do a save. Just because. And we will send Charlie 1, because our guys didn't take any real damage, did they? Damn it, where's the right option? There it is. Yeah, they didn't take any real damage. One guy was out for a day, because he got grazed, I guess. But they're already back. Okay, Condor's not gonna, or yeah. Condor wasn't gonna make it, but they're being chased. Now here's the thing. If you have no fuel, your guys will not fight. So, if they're really that low on fuel, they're not actually going to be engaging this guy if he actually does manage to catch up to them. Okay. As per usual, are we at the edge of the map? We are. Now question is, do I want you to take cover on the outside so that if there's a dude in the window, you don't get shot? But then you're not covered if there's aliens over on the other side of the street? Or do I have you move all the way in and just kind of hope that there's nobody in the window? We're just going to hope there's nobody in the window. And we can't see through there. Oh god, that's a civilian. Okay, for some reason I thought my guy stopped because he saw an alien, but no, that's a civilian, and it's an unarmed civilian from the looks of it. And this... Okay, that is actually providing you with cover. For some reason, it looked like it wasn't... Looked like the game was saying it didn't. But I must have been one tile off. Okay, you're going to go ahead and take cover here by the window, at least as close as you can, because there's some vases in front of you, and game's not going to let me destroy those. Now, realistically, I would like Lucia to probably go to the doorway over there, but for now, I'll have her watch that door. Okay, you don't see anybody in the marketplace, but that doesn't mean there's nobody there. And Pavel is gonna take forever to get around. The arena looks clear. And civilian, and that's the edge of the other edge of the map, so the UFO is going to be, I think, in this opposite corner. If I had to make a guess. Pavel's going to be the one to check that door. Only issue with having Irina do what she did is if there's an alien on this top floor that comes down, it's going to shoot her in the back. I probably should have checked to see if that was open before I even attempted to melee it, but whatever. Oh shit. Okay, well, see, that's why you don't run blindly around corners. There's a chance that Jules here may not have seen it depending on how he went around the corner if I hadn't told him to go where I did. Admittedly, there was a chance that he wasn't going to have enough action point, or time units rather, to shoot, which would have sucked because he would have probably died. Okay, that was the sound of an alien dying. I want to note. Which is interesting. Oh, wait. No, yeah. Okay. Igor, you go and stack up on the door. Okay, this is very strangely clear, which I'm not a fan of. Can I break these? No, I can't. Okay. Just wasted all of Jules's action points attempting to break the shutters on the door there, or on the window there. Not too big of a deal. Okay. Igor, check the window. It is clear. Okay. Marketplace looks to be clear, as far as we can tell. So let's go ahead and move out. And there's the UFO, like I said. Figured it would be in the opposite corner. Yeah, Jules, go ahead and just climb through that window. Timer's probably gonna... This is gonna be a bit of a longer part, because I think my timer's probably gonna go off before we actually finish this. But unless absolutely necessary, I do not plan to split battles across parts. So the only time that should happen is if it's like a terror site. And we are not near the end. Yeah, pretty sure the last one's going to be inside the UFO. If I say last one, there might be some more, but whatever is left, I'm pretty sure is inside the UFO. So let's go ahead and have Pavel get used to carrying around that shield of his. Now Lucia did not take a reaction shot. Oh, she was only at 58, so that might have been why. Her reaction is kind of low in the first place. Run up to here. Come on, Pavel, I need you to get up here. Realistically, it probably would have been a good idea to clear that building, but I don't think it's necessary. There we go. Now you took a reaction shot. You missed, but hey, at least you took a shot. You know, that's an improvement. Yep, that's fine. Can you... No. You run to that rock. Take cover behind it. Jules will take cover behind this tree, and he should be protected. This tree provides cover at an angle, and that should be the angle necessary to get cover from this caisson. Now, I would love it if he would have reaction fired and killed it, but he didn't. There you go. Thank you, Lewis. And that was the last one. And timer had 13 seconds left. Let's go ahead and get our guys home, and then that's going to be it. We're going to lose. And I can't tell my guys to disengage because they're not the ones who started it. We're going to tell our guys just to head home. You know, realistically, actually, they could probably beat it. If the game will let them. You know what? Fuck it. No, and yeah, there they go. They went down because they ran out of fuel. And now I need to wait for them to be recovered. Which is going to take 71 hours. All because you ran out of fuel. Yep. Pretty much knew that was going to be the case, but, you know, tried to avoid it if possible. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time, where we will... Actually, before I forget, no, we don't have... God damn, radar arrays are so expensive. I could build a hangar. But I don't have the money. I wouldn't have the money to be able to actually build the... or to purchase the interceptor. So, no real reason to do that. We're just... yeah. We're going to try and get a radar array up in Cuba, but it's not going to be particularly useful because it's only the single radar array. The other two are going to have to wait until next month because we don't seem to be getting very many UFOs, or at least, you know, ones that we can detect compared to how it normally goes in from my experience with my current personal game. But oh well. Yeah, so that'll be it for this part. Quick reminder, if you want to have a soldier named after you, there is a Google form you can find down below in the description. You go ahead and fill that out. It'll ask you simple questions. What name do you want the soldier to have? Do you have any preferred genders or nationalities for the soldier? Obviously, if you don't have any preferences there is an option to say don't care or something like that. I don't quite recall how I worded it. I think I have it labeled as just don't care, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Either way, pick whatever applies to you when it comes to any preferred gender or nationalities. And then it'll ask you also if you're a patron, because technically if you do support the channel via Patreon, you do actually get a bit of preference. It's not really a big deal right now because, it doesn't really make a difference, because I'm not expecting a lot of people to actually fill this out. It'd be great if a bunch of people do, but if I'm being realistic here, I think it's only a handful of people are likely to fill out the Google form anyway, so it doesn't make a significant difference. But either way, it'll ask you that because technically patrons do get preference. Exactly how I would have that preference play out would depend upon how many people actually fill out the form. But yeah, so I'll see you all next time, where we will finish, hopefully, being able to build... Well, probably not next part. But hopefully next part we'll at least be able to build up some more. Our Central America base. But until then, goodbye and farewell.